Well, welcome everybody to the NFL for Week 5. I am your host, Lawrence Presman, co-founder of WagerTalk.com. And on this show, which is part 1, we're going to look at the Thursday night football game between the Bears and the Washington Commanders. We're going to take apart the Jacksonville-Buffalo game and the New Orleans Saints playing the New England Patriots. Before we get into that, I just want to make mention last week was spectacular. Thank you, everybody, for all the wonderful comments. Thank you for all the clients who bought my plays. Across the board, all the way through all 3 of these videos, I went 9-3. My total record right now throughout all 3 different videos of the presidential address is 31 wins, 21 losses, and I am really, really proud of that. That's about a 60% average. I hope to do that all year, but I am heating up. My clients had a big week as well, 6-3 for my clients, including 2 plus 150 dogs. So it was a really good week in week 4, and October has always been a good month for me. Anyway, let's get straight into it. Chicago going into Washington. The line is -6.5 for Washington. The total has stayed steady at 44.5. And right off the bat, shout out to the Bears. I have abused this team and the city for 3 straight years. And finally, we saw a game where they actually looked like an NFL football team. Granted, they lost, but alas, they are still the Bears. Are we supposed to expect them to win? No. But Fields was outstanding, finally. And the Bears, they were able to move the ball up and down the field. Now, I grant you, they were playing against a defense that just let Miami put up 70 on them and frankly suck ass. But still, Fields threw for 300 yards. They ran the ball for 171. After finally moving the ball, I cannot see this Bears team resort back to a conservative approach. I think we see them open up the offense. I think we see them try to get Fields on the move. And I think we're going to see them see him do more running. And that'll allow him to throw deep, which is so important in football. If you can't throw deep, ask the Atlanta Falcons. The linebackers are just going to stack the box, and you're not going to be able to run the ball or throw the ball. So I think we're going to see a more aggressive approach coming out of Chicago. As for Washington, I think they've found their quarterback. And the final drive by Howell, well, the final 2 drives were so impressive. What was not impressive was I don't know where the hell I don't gamble anymore Riverboat Ron Rivera is. What a bonehead decision to not go for 2 to end the game right there. Why take it to overtime on the road against a team that's clearly better than you? They had the momentum. They had Philly tired. The defense was reeling. They could have won the game right there and then, but they didn't. Now, at the beginning of the season, with Young coming back, there was a lot of talk about how good this Washington D will be. Hasn't happened. They allowed Arizona to put up 16 in the first game, and since then, the Broncos have scored 33, the Bills 37, and Philly 34. Currently, at best, this is a mediocre defense and one the Bears should be able to take advantage of, like in a Bear kind of a way, meaning they'll still lose, but they will be able to get some points. When I look at this game, I think, are you ready for this? Drum roll, please. The Bears are the right choice. Oh my God. Mark the date and time. I know. Knock me over with a really crappy deep dish pizza full of carbs and loaded with dough that isn't actually really a pizza, but it's true. I like the Bears here. Take Chicago plus 6.5 against Washington, and I like the over as well. I think we're going to see a lot of scoring in this game. Guys, before we get into the next game, Jacksonville against Buffalo, I want to give out a promo code for you all. Perennially, year after year, the best month for me is always the month of October. We saw it this past Sunday where I went 5-2-1 for my clients. We had a great week, and this coming Sunday will be even better. The month of October is my absolute best month of betting in the NFL. And you can get the entire month of my NFL plays every Monday, Thursday, Sunday, all my 5%, 2%, 3%, my prop bets, my sides, my totals, every NFL play for only $99. Use the promo code over at WagerTalk, Prez99. If you're ever going to play me in your life, if you're ever going to bet my plays one time, this is the month. That's the promo. Prez99, $99 for 30 days of all my NFL plays. Okay, let's get to Jacksonville here, guys. Second week in a row playing in Wembley, and I actually think that's important, and it's a factor in my handicap. They're plus 5.5. They're playing the Buffalo Bills, maybe the best team in all of football right now. And the total has been bet up from 48 to 49, which I completely understand. Let me start by saying this. The Bills have outscored their opponents 123 to 33 in their last 3 games. Those numbers are unbelievable. They are only the 6th team in history to score 135 or more points and allow fewer than 60 in their first 4 games. The first 5 teams that did that all went to the Super Bowl. With that said, the most interesting part of this handicap is that Jacksonville are staying in London. The Bills, they're only getting there this week. This is a big deal to me for a couple of reasons. The first reason is the Jags have adjusted to the time zone. The Jags have bonded on the road. The Jags have had a chance to be away from family and friends and all the distractions. That should bode well for the Jags. The second reason is the Bills are coming off one of, if not the most important game on their schedule. With all the hype around Miami and the division up for grabs, the Bills played one of their best games maybe ever. And they should really find themselves in a bad spot. Now, don't get me wrong, guys. I think the Bills are a much better team than the Jags. But this is just such a horrible spot for them. The Jags have not looked good all year. Even their win against the Falcons in Wembley last week was not great. Everyone expected their offense to be really good this season. They've only averaged 20 points. And now they play one of the best defensive units in the league. I don't necessarily think Jacksonville puts it together this week against Buffalo's D, but they will start playing better as the season progresses. It's so hard for me to bet against the Bills. It pains me to bet against the Bills. But this might be the only time this season I will bet against them. It's just the spot they are in. I doubt this play will make my actual card. It likely will make my circa card, but I don't know if I'll get to the window betting it personally. But I do lean on the Jacksonville Jags at plus 5.5. Now we go into New England. They're playing New Orleans, and the line here is minus 1.5 for the New England Patriots, and the total is 40. What do the Pats do after Bill Belichick has the worst loss in his entire coaching career? What do? Do they bounce back? Do they show moxie, discipline? I don't know, man. I think the answer is they do not much. This team is just terrible. They stink. Mac Jones is regressing at a very high level. The biggest issue facing the Pats, and they have many issues, is their O-line is shocking and the team is completely undisciplined. This is a serious surprise, as one thing you could always count on with a Bill Belichick coach team is discipline and a good O-line. As for the Saints, it was clear that Derek Carr was not himself against Tampa Bay, and he did miss an entire week of practice. But even healthy, this team has put up 16, 20, 17, and 9 points in their first 4 games, and they're the best under team in all of football. The Saints are literally 0-10 to the under in their last 10 games. And most of those games, they weren't even close to 40 points. Frankly, they have not gone over 39 points this entire year. And why would they think they will this game? I don't. The Saints D are really good, really good. I grant you they have played no one so far that can score, but all of those no ones are the same as the Pats. New England has put up 20, 17, 15, and 3 this year. And they got to play good defenses. I get it. Dallas, the Jets. But the Saints are as good, maybe slightly worse, but pretty close to as good as Dallas and the Jets on D. This is going to be a game of field goals, a game of running, a game of short passes. There is no way Belichick lets Jones throw the ball deep. We are going to stick with the trend and take the under. No reason to be tricky. New Orleans and New England under the total of 40 points. That's it for part 1 of the NFL Presidential Address. Make sure to check out part 2. We're going to look at Carolina versus Detroit, Houston versus Atlanta, and Cincinnati against Arizona. And I know a lot of you guys don't like when I say verse. I think it's verses. But hey, I didn't say I speak English, and you understand what I'm saying. Guys, make sure to use that promo code Prez99, 1 month of all my NFL plays. We'll see you on part 2.